As we look at the rotation, let's just start at the top with Corbin Burnes. I've got the Pacoda projections here, the latest run as of March 5th. So they are projecting him for 4.1 WARP, 248 ERA with a 317 DRA in 174 innings. So obviously last year, a really good year from him, but not a Cy Young caliber year. And the Brewers evidently made that plenty clear in their arbitration hearing. So I guess, does he need to be at the top of the league level, at that top Cy Young contending level for the Brewers to really contend?
I think he does, but I'm not really worried about Corbin for a couple of reasons. One of which is, while it's never great to tick off your start, let's just assume that Corbin is not going to resign with the team. No matter what they did in arbitration, that's going to happen. He has huge incentives to pitch really, 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 really well. Whether he wants to, escape or not, he's got to get paid. And he's a star. I mean, last year was bad for Corbin Burnes, but it was still awesome for 99% of pitchers in baseball. So yeah, he needs to be the star if they're going to contend. Your stars need to be stars for you to contend. But outside of injury, if there's a safe bet on a guy performing up to expectations, I think it's Burnes above kind of all else.
Yeah, I would say they could handle him being less than great over the course of a full season and still contend. What they need is for him to be, if they're in the playoffs, they need him to be an ace and dominating if they want to make a run in the playoffs, right? Like that's probably the more important thing, because I think they have the depth where they can get themselves to the playoffs in a lot of different ways. Like they have different paths to get there. It's more about like, if you want this team to perform at its highest possible level in the games that really matter at the end of the season like that, that's where you're going to need him to shine.
Yeah, Burnes and Woodruff combined aren't just your keys to making the playoffs. That's very true. Like if you actually want to actually win anything, they need to be dominant at the right time. That's what it really comes down to for the Brewers. That's their secret weapon. Those two can neutralize almost any lineup, and you just need to get in and keep them healthy enough to be the aces they are when it actually matters.
Yeah, and it is noteworthy. They really do have them both being workhorses. It's funny to see like 174 and 166 in terms of innings and go, that's a workhorse now, because
it is.
200 used to be like kind of the bare minimum for a workhorse. Like true workhorses were like 230, 240, and that's just not really a thing. I guess Sandy Alcantara was over 200 last year, but I'm not sure if there was anybody else.
I don't think there was. I think that was it.
Yeah, I think it was just the one guy. So that's really what they need there. There was some interesting things that came out this week. I don't know if you guys had a chance to look at it, but analyst for The Athletic now, Eno Saris, used to be at Fangraphs. He released his Stuff Plus model. Did you see this?
I did, but I did not read it in depth.
Okay. So basically what Stuff Plus does, it's a couple different numbers, and it's using StatCast data. And what they're evaluating is both the quality of the stuff and the quality of the pitcher's location. So how well the pitcher is locating and how well the stuff plays, right? So the pitch characteristics, all these sorts of things. It's a very advanced sort of algorithmic thing. And those two numbers get combined together into a number called Pitching Plus. So that's sort of the overall thing where you have the stuff plus the location is the Pitching Plus. And both Burnes and Woodruff, you're not going to be surprised to find this out, last year, if you sort for 100 innings, which is what I did, you end up with Corbin Burnes is 6th in Pitching Plus at 109, and Woodruff is 8th at 108. The difference is that Woodruff actually, Burnes is more of a Stuff Plus guy. He's at 126, but his Location Plus is only 102. So just kind of slightly above average location, whereas Woodruff is only a 114 Stuff Plus. I say only. I mean, that's 14% better than league average. It's very, very good, especially for a starter. And then the Location Plus, though, is 107. That's really, really pretty good.
He's putting it where he wants.
Right,
And
exactly.
I do like it's a really good stat in its simplicity, because it takes, I think, really easily understood StatCast data, looks for sort of the two most important parts for a pitcher and puts them together. I like it. It's a very Paul stat, actually. It's kind of how I make all my stats, is go find better stats and smash them together into one. So it's It tells you a lot, and it's nice to see. First, that checks out with both of those guys too. I do think Woodruff locates a little better than Burnes does. That's why Burnes occasionally gets himself into home run trouble, and I think Burnes has better stuff. So it also checks the eye test pretty well.